What's up, everybody? Straw Hats Are Cool here, and we are back again with another video. We are back with Market Watch. I do apologize as this one is going to be a little bit later than normal, as I've been a little bit ill and then was attending the Peoria Regionals this past weekend. Ended up going 6-3 in the end. A little bummed as I was 6-1 going into round 8. And then proceeded to see some bad matchups and my opponents drew pretty hot. Back-to-back 10 Costo Flamingos sure are annoying, but it is what it is. I do want to congratulate Dexter Riley, who ended up winning the event. Was one of my opponents that I played during the Knoxville Regional Championship, which happened earlier, about a month ago now. Really cool guy. He and his wife both play, super nice couple, and I've really enjoyed getting to know them over the last couple events. Definitely one of the most fun and genuine people I've met in the community. They did recently start a YouTube channel, so I will link that down below. Be sure to check them out. Don't want to ramble too long, but I do, again, I feel like I'm saying this a lot, so I apologize if it's too much. But on my way home from work before recording this, we did just hit 900 subscribers, so thank you so much for that. We're only 100 away from hitting 1,000, which is just absolutely unbelievable. A lot of kind comments on the last video, and I really do appreciate that. One guy, you know, like I said, grand scheme of things, 700, 800, 900, it's not a lot in the grand scheme of YouTube. But there was one guy who did mention that, you know, at the end of the day, that's still 700 people who are coming just to listen to you talk. And you know, that's just it exactly, and it really does mean a lot. Enjoy interacting with you guys, and hope that you continue to enjoy the videos. I think I'm going to start a Discord soon so we can talk there and discuss the market there as well. Just trying to get all that figured out. But I've already been rambling for almost 3 minutes, so let's just get right into the Market Watch now. As always, we're just going to start off with our Manga Rares. Not a lot's changed here. Shanks is still $1,000 just about. Ace is a little under 900. Soga King, 330, so up from where it was, but still one of the cheaper mangas. Sabo, I do think dropped a little bit. I want to say this one got up to about 400. Now it's down around 300 again. So yeah, not a lot to change there. So let's go ahead and move on to OP01. Now we've still got some stuff to discuss here for OP01. I haven't made a video since the new banned and restricted announcement, so that did cause some pretty big changes for some cards in the OP01 market. We saw a ban on the Newgate leader. We saw bans on Character Searcher Nami, as well as Curly Dodon, and then we saw a restriction on the 5-cost Marco from set 3. So these restrictions did hit Law and Zoro. I still think they're going to be able to find a place in the meta, as they do just have inherently strong and generic effects, but those bans did cause a pretty significant drop in price to Zoro and Law. They were just both a little over 300 if I recall in the last Market Watch, and now they're just a little over 200, so that's about $100 decrease. So I'm sorry if you were one of those people who bought them at 300. But I will say, with how things are going with the OP01 cards and just the popularity of the game in general, I expect they'll go back up again someday. These are two just fan favorite characters anyways, and as product gets harder and harder to obtain, I think these leaders will go up in price again. So I don't think it was still a bad investment if you hold on to them. So that's just my thoughts on it. Luffy's gone up a little bit. Dofi's going up. There were some Dofis who were doing well in the regional this past weekend, so maybe a little bit of hype there. Might be a little better into the new format with the restrictions. I'm not too sure about that, but maybe it's the only thing I can think of as to why this is going up, other than the fact that everything in OP01 is going up for the most part. So big changes for the leaders here, with the Zoro and Law seeing a decrease in price. Let's go ahead and move on now. Search Your Nami. Like I said, this one was restricted. It's been sitting a little above 200 for, I mean, I want to say since release. For the most part, it's been sitting right around that $200 mark this whole time. One of the best looking alts in my opinion. Blue foiling on One Piece cards just looks immaculate. But it did see a decrease in price. It's at 170. Not a big decrease in price. So, you know, if you haven't picked one up for your collection, now is probably the time to do so. Again, with the way the OP1 market is going, I don't expect it'll get much lower than this. The Yamato Secret Rare, I want to say this has gone up a little more again. I feel like it was around 25, 30. Yeah, so it was around $25, $30. You can see they're selling 26, a little under $30. And we're up at nearly $40 now for the regular Secret Rare. And with, again, OP01 stuff is just continuing to go up. And there's hype for the yellow-green Yamato deck in set 6. I don't think this card is going to be played in that deck, just because a 5-cost, 5,000 powered character, it's the Dawn investment for what you're getting isn't great unless you can connect and attack. But with all the removal options in the game right now, I just don't really see you sticking this, especially in set 6 as we get more and more power creep. So just my thoughts on it. But hey, if you've got extra copies, you could consider selling those as they are on the rise. Your Secret Rare Yamato is also up. This one hurts me every time I look at it, as it's still one of the only cards I'm missing to complete my set 1 collection. Yeah, it's kind of just been bouncing around 100 and 150, so it's at 126 right now, which is too much for this card in my opinion, but it is a beautiful card nonetheless. So I'm probably just gonna bite the bullet here and get one, but it does suck. Unless you've been holding on to a couple, now is probably a good time to sell. Crocodile Secret Rare was one of the SRs, which was kind of staying around the same price it's been, around 12 bucks. But you can see here now that there aren't a lot of listings left, only 16 of them. The $24 right now with shipping, and there's only what, 1, 2, 3, 4 sales before it's up to 30. So something to keep in mind there. These crocodiles are going up. Maybe if you invested in some of these earlier, speculating that since everything in set 1 was going up, these would be a good investment, you made the right call there. So yeah, Punk Gibson had a buyout. It's at $5 with shipping now. And I mean, look at this. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 copies left until it's at nearly $8 for a regular rare from set 1. I mean, someone could come in and just buy all 8 of those at this price and then resell them at $8. It could happen. I'm not going to do it, but it could happen. We can see they were already selling. There was a point where those were the cheapest ones because they were selling at $8. Your OP01 bulk, if you haven't gone through it yet, make sure to get on that. Speaking of OP01 bulk, we've got Rare X Drake. This is going to see a lot of play in the Purple Luffy deck in the upcoming format with the release of set 5. So I do expect these will probably continue to rise in price. All of the 2Ks in purple, for that matter, I expect are going to see a rise in price, and a little bit more on that later. But you know, they're selling a lot. I want to say earlier, yeah, someone bought 130 of them at $4. So I think that was someone one of my good buddies who plays knows who sold those. Yeah, definitely go through your OPO1 bulk and see what you've got. I expect that Momonosuke is going to be a rare that also sees a price increase here pretty soon, but I guess only time will tell. So OPO1's kind of been the star of the show, but we've got some bigger changes in sets 2 and 3 this week, so let's dive into that. So Newgate Leader, obviously, as it is now banned, did see a decrease in price. As a result of that as well, Magellan saw an increase in price, and so did Z. Like I said, all the leaders in general have just been on the rise, and this is looking like it's going to be a trend which we continue to see as time goes on. So hopefully you've picked up a copy of all the leaders if you're looking to collect those like myself. If not, you might want to go ahead and just bite the bullet and pick them up at this price, because it's looking like things are only going up from here. But, you know, again, don't take my word for it. I could be wrong. I'm not a financial advisor, simply a guy on the internet who enjoys the One Piece trading card game. Yeah, everything, you know, everything's under 100, between $50 and $100 for your set 2 leaders, which isn't terrible in my opinion. I think this one's a little outrageous right now, but maybe that's just me. Your secret rare Uta is at $10. Why? Can someone tell me why? I know there's the red purple Uta leader coming in set 6. I don't think this card will be good in that deck. I'm quite excited for that deck, however. It looks like it's going to be a pretty fun one in my opinion. But hey, I've got some extra copies of this that I'm going to be listing tonight. Anyways, Nami. Because of the bans on all the red stuff, film is going to get a little better. Green in general just gets a little better. If I recall correctly, last week this was under $10, and I said, hey, I think this is a pretty good price. It's probably going to go up. And sure enough, we got the bans, and it shot up kind of outrageously. Almost doubled in price. Maybe it did double. I can't remember how low they were. But $20 for a regular SR and $55 for an alt. It's a lot. These have kind of been sitting around 50 though, so not a huge change there, but definitely a big change with your regular SR. Luffy, I feel like this one went up. It was around 40, I want to say, and now we're up at 50. Again, green's getting a little better because of those bans. Now, here comes some of the bigger changes. Kuzan and Borsalino, regular SR, are both at $20. If you were a watcher of the channel earlier, in my first Market Watch videos, I did mention that I thought these were going to be good buys. And if you saw that, hopefully you pick some up, because similar to Nami, these are regular SRs, which are at $20, which is outrageous. They've been sitting around 10, 12, maybe a little more for about as, you know, almost since launch, honestly. Like Kuzan, I think, was 8 for a while, but they've kind of held their value. But now we're seeing a pretty big increase as a result of a lot of hype surrounding the blue-black Sakazuki deck, which is seeing huge amounts of success right now in regions where OPO5 has already released. New builds, kind of more low to the ground builds, been discovered that's doing tremendously well over there. Some people have already started joking that before set 5 releases, we're going to see some bans on black cards, because NA's a bunch of crybabies who want bans on everything, and Bandai's listening. So I guess we'll see. But $20 on those two. Their alts are at 62. Yeah, 62 on both those as well. Again, I mentioned these in previous videos. If you wanted them, I hope you grab them then. If not, I think you're out of luck, because honestly, I don't see them dropping much more from this unless we do see some bans. Moving on, we've got Buggy. Nami's going to be a little better with the Zoro stuff getting hit. A little less aggressive for Zoro, so Nami might have some time to shine. A lot of people are speculating that Yellow's going to take over. I'm not too sure about that. I think Law can adapt and it's still going to crush Katakuri, but we'll see. But $30 on the Buggy, pretty big increase there. And then Little Sadie is also at $30. Similar to what I was saying with X-Drake, your purple 2Ks are just on the rise. There are some builds of the purple Luffy deck that do run an inbuilt down package, so they're running your Hannibal, your Little Sadie. I'm not sure they're running any of the Jailer Bees, but of course they're Magellan, so it's just all searchable. So Little Sadie is on the rise as a result of that. I do think the purple Luffy deck that won a 3-on-3, the purple Luffy player was running the Impel Down package, if I'm remembering right, so probably a little hype because of that. So that's it for OP02. Let's move on now to OP03. Starting off with our leaders, Katakuri and Nami seeing a rise, likely due to the results of the banned and restricted announcement, as people are theorizing that they'll be more playable than they have been previously. Other than that, no changes really to speak of. So let's move on now. Character Marco, its alt and regular took a pretty big hit. Honestly, the alt didn't, it dropped like $5. It's been at $25. It's at 20 right now. I forgot to pull up the regular SR, but I want to say it was at like $2. So let's see. Probably no, just best match. Let's see here. Should probably just search it. Let's see, our Marco and One Piece. It is, yeah, it's at $2, $3 with shipping. So pretty big hit there. This one's been $10, $12, and now getting a hit. I say there's a chance. I said this with the first wave and they didn't get unbanned, but we're going in such a wildly different direction from the formats where OP05 is already released that I feel like these ones should get unbanned. But hey, I don't know. NA proving that being a crybaby works, I guess. So yeah, Marco saw a decrease. Yellow stuff saw a bit of an increase. Puddings have been higher. You can see we've got, looks like they're not really selling. None have sold since the 3rd, and they're back down to 47. They were at about $33 because I almost bought some and I didn't. And they went up as a result of the bans. Again, yellow speculated to be better for the remainder of 04, and it's going to be good into 05. Sparrow, I remember I think I mentioned this in the last video when it was closer to $3 or $4. It's almost doubled in price since then. Katakuri is probably going to start doing a little better now that Newgate's banned. I think the main thing stopping Sparrow from seeing play this current format was Newgate. Is this not a natural attacker into Newgate, and it didn't have counter, so it really hurt in that matchup. It's already a bad matchup for Katakuri, so I think they were cutting this one to kind of help with that matchup. But now that that's gone, I think this card's going to start seeing more and more play again. And additionally, from what I can tell as I'm looking at the OP05 format, Katakuri is starting to see a resurgence as it does better into the blue-black Sakazuki deck than NL. So because of that, this card is seeing more play over there as well. Sparrow alt, I think maybe it's went up a couple dollars. It's only 30 right now. Got a lot of listings, so it's pretty stable at 30 right now, but 30 is not a lot for an SR that's playable, so I could see it going up. Cracker's already gone up. You can see here they're selling. A lot of them are selling. They were $2. Excuse me. A lot of them sell at $2, and now they're up with shipping at $4.50 right now. So because again, no new gate right now, and because Katakuri seeing more play in 05, this card is starting to see an increase in price. So if you don't have some copies of Cracker, might consider doing that now. I mean, $3 still ain't a lot for an SR, but you know, could get as high as the Parasparrows were. I mean, this is about the price Parasparrow was a week ago, so definitely something to consider there. Alt's still sitting at 25. It's kind of been there for a while. Kind of same deal as Parasparrow. I could see it going up. Big Mom, you know, it's been around $5. It's a good card. And again, Katakuri seeing more play, so might see an increase in price. The alt, it went up and then it came back down. As you can see, they were selling at 50 and now they're dropping again. So hopefully you avoided it when they were at $50. If you haven't picked up your copies yet, I'd say this is a fine price to pick them up at. This card has been all over the place. Katakuri secret rare, most expensive secret in the game. But if you look at sales from this past week, I want to say, yeah, they were selling at $80, which was outrageous. Hopefully you weren't panic buying when they were at that price. As you can see now, they're dropping back down a little under $60 right now. But you know, there are a lot of listings now, so they'll probably stick around this price. So if you don't have them and you want them, probably not doing a lot better than this since there are a lot of listings. Yeah, hopefully you already grabbed your Katakuris before now. The alt, not a whole lot more than the regular secret, but again, this one was wild. They were selling at $140 earlier this week. So again, I hope you weren't panic buying. Things have calmed down. There's a lot of listings. It's about $85. Zef seeing an increase. Again, some of the Sakazuki decks from the 05 format have been playing this. I want to say the new build that's seeing a lot of success is not playing this, but I could be wrong about that. I picked up my copies when they were like $10, so I only needed 3, so I got my 3 for the price of 1 now, so that feels good. And then Poly, also about $30. I keep mentioning this one because it's going to see play in the Purple Luffy deck. So that is it for 02 and 03. They've kind of been, they're going to be the focus of this market watch, as we've had some pretty big changes there, especially with the prices of the black and yellow cards. So moving on now to 04. You know, everything's still going down. I expect Rebecca Leader to go down even a little more, honestly, because it kind of is losing all its good matchups as a result of the bans and restricted announcement. I could see Dofi going up, however, as I do think this one has room to be a little more successful in the current format following the bans. So we'll see, but everything's kind of on decline. And other than that, nothing really crazy to speak of. Everything's still pretty cheap. I would still say pick up your SRs if you don't have them now, as I do think they'll go up as time goes on. And maybe grab your yellow alts, because it's looking like yellow is going to be kind of a beast in the upcoming formats. So the yellow alts and Sabo are the ones that I would probably consider picking up if you don't have any. But other than that, nothing really to speak of for 04. Let's move on to promos. Dons are still pretty expensive, honestly. The Chopper and Robin ones are weirdly expensive, and you know, everything else is kind of what I expect. Don't buy finalist Otama. This is a dumb amount of money to spend on it. They'll probably come down over time or not. Your participant putting both the online and offline, still a stupid amount of money as well. I wouldn't buy them. Now, this one's interesting. They're not selling at this price. However, there are only 5 listings, and people who really want to bling out their blue-black Sakazuki decks. I've got 2 of these that I'll probably be listing here pretty soon. But yeah, this is kind of crazy. So if you've been holding on to championship Porcelinos, I would say sell them now. Excuse me. Kuzan also going up. Blue-black Sakazuki hype. 2 listings. This one's got 3. $550 though. So I think Kuzan is really the all-star in the blue-black Sakazuki deck. So this one, you know, it looks like it was bought out. I mean, I don't know how many listings there were, but in the last, you know, week, there were 5 sales, and before that, not a whole lot. So maybe some people really wanted to bling out their deck there. So if you happen to win any of these and were unsure of selling, maybe there's a little bit more incentive now in doing so. Uta's going up. This card's been, I want to say, $12 forever. They were selling at 30 the other day. Yeah, that was just yesterday. So yeah, might be set 6 hype, not too sure. Maybe it could also be good in red purple Luffy, as it's a natural 6k body. So similar to Newgate, you kind of just want to be playing 6k bodies as opposed to anything less, but not too sure, though it is seeing an increase in price. Jinbei is up a little bit as well. Like I said, Dofi was doing pretty okay in Peoria this weekend, and it might do better following the bans. I'm not too sure, but it did see a slight increase in price. Film Bart, I think it went up a little more again. Film hype is real. So yeah, not a whole lot else to say there, other than, you know, hopefully you grabbed these when they were dumb cheap because everyone thought it was bad. Brule's at 50. I think I mentioned this one maybe last week. It's played in almost every yellow deck into set 5. This is your max rarity version. It's gonna be pretty expensive. Film Choppers saw a jump in price yet again due to the film hype, due to the bans. There's a lot of hype surrounding that green Uta deck, which will be releasing sometime next year. So hopefully you grab your choppers when they were like $10. If not, and you've been holding on to them and aren't really looking to play your film, I would sell them now. They are selling at around 30, so maybe you list at 35 right now and you can get someone to grab it. I'm not sure why this one went up, but no one's buying it. 9 listings, all above $40. If someone can explain why this is happening, please do so down in the comments below, but I would avoid it. This was one of your cheaper winner cards from volume 4. However, it's a 4 of in blue-black Sakazuki, and as far as I'm aware, this is the max rarity version, so kind of saw a pretty huge increase in price following the blue-black Sakazuki hype. So if you won one of these and were a little bummed out, don't be, you're making money. I mentioned this one because it's Heart Pirates. Maybe it sees play in Film Law deck, or the red purple law, because it's 2k and it's searchable, but did see an increase in price. Not sure if it's because of law or because of the film Uta hype for set 6, but either way, it's sitting a little above $5 now, and they're selling. So, not too sure about that one, but hey, hopefully you grabbed your copies while they were cheap. And then last for the promos, we've got Dash Pack Shirahoshi. I think this is the best art for this card that you can get. It's still less than the pre-release one, and I'm not sure why. I think this card is going to go up in price, especially as yellow is going to continue seeing large amounts of play, and this is a 4 of in most of those decks. I would pick these up. I think this is a fine price to pick these up at, and could see them going up considerably more. Let's talk about pre-release stuff real quick. I did just want to mention the super pre-release Kaido deck, primarily because of Ultian Page 1. I believe these were 4 ofs in the deck, and they're $4 and $6 almost respectively. So, you know, if you're like me and you picked up a couple of copies of these on, you know, during the super pre-releases, you might have some extra copies of these laying around, and, you know, you could make a little bit of money off those. So just thought I'd mention that. Again, with the purple 2Ks, Khalifa is $30 for your pre-release stamp. Please don't buy these. People are doing it, but please don't. It's a little stamp. It doesn't matter that much. I know I'm kind of a max rarity guy too, but I can't justify this, so I would avoid that. But sell it if you got it. Dominoes are on the rise because, again, there was that film or the purple Luffy deck that was running Impel down, and this was in the deck. Might be a good price to buy still. I'm not too sure. They were selling at $8. 2 listings left, and then it's up to 8, 10, 13. Heck, I might buy those after this. But yeah, so Domino pre-release is definitely something I'd keep my eye on. Film hype, it's at $20. Again, more film hype, $20. And then Ice Age is at $15 for a lightly played copy. It is the only listing. This is like a 3 to 4 of in the blue black Sakazuki deck that I keep mentioning. This is your max rarity version for now. In the binder that you were able to pre-order, you do get a sick art for this card. So it's not going to be a while till those ship, but yeah, I don't think this is worth it either. And then for our starter decks, I just kind of wanted to mention that for just about all the starter decks, it is way cheaper to buy singles than the starter deck itself. Starter deck itself is almost $30, probably is with shipping. Your laws are $4, bones are $1, Bonnie's under $1. Like, those are the things you'll want. And I mean, you only get 2 laws, so like that's the money card, and that's like $8. So just buy the singles for if you're missing your starter decks right now. Same thing with the blue one. This one's at 23, so maybe it looks good, but if you actually look at the listing, it's got $6 shipping, so $30 again. Just buy your singles. This is the only debatable one, I think, but honestly probably still just buy the singles. So hopefully you grab these while they were a lot cheaper, because they are outrageous right now, especially the queens. I really hope we see a reprint on some of these starter deck cards like Queen. We are seeing it with the next tournament pack for cards like the Kaido and the Luffy, but I really hope Queen sees a reprint in particular. Film stuff still going crazy. Again, it's cheaper to buy singles. And right now, might still be better to buy the sealed starter deck for this one. Greater option in Hina saw a huge increase in price. To no one's surprise, it's the blue black Sakazuki deck that is at fault for this. Everything else is kind of where it's been. Garp's dropped down a little bit. And then I would say buy your yellow starter decks, get them sealed. You only get 2 Brulee and 2 Big Mom. That's $12. That's $16. I mean, everything else is extra at that point, and these ones have free shipping. So I would pick up your yellow starter decks now, as these cards I think are going to go up even further. Yellow starter decks are going to get bought out, prices are going to go up. This video is way too long. Your gift pack stuff is going down, more people are opening it, makes sense, and I wouldn't buy a Devil Fruit collection at this price. I apologize as this video is way too long, but I guess there was a lot to talk about, and I know I rambled a little bit in the beginning. I know my voice still isn't totally back, so I do apologize for that as well. But thanks for bearing with me. Thanks for stopping in and watching the video. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please do consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. We are getting close to 1,000 subscribers, which is not something I ever thought I would be able to say. So if you want to support me, that's the best way to do it. But I'm going to stop rambling now. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And I will catch you all in the next video. It will be on time this week, I think. Anyways, I will catch you all later. Thank you again for watching the video. Peace.